Hi everybody. So this video, the purpose of this video is to share some of the contents and the media for my series on a haunting at the Beverly Center. So a lot of it is audio on my podcast, and I uploaded the audio videos to YouTube. So I created a playlist here of parts 1 through 6. So it has all 6 podcast episodes that I've done that you can stream on YouTube. There isn't video attached to that. So I'm going to add to this playlist, and this is going to be the first video there is an introduction video, but I'm going to add to this playlist all of the content, other videos that I've collected, different trailers, and put everything here. So if you're following this story, you can check out everything that I have right here. So within this video, I want to share a few pieces of paper with you that have to deal with haunting at the Beverly Center and things that I've used, including my ghost map, my flyer for finding people to ask questions about the workers at the Beverly Center. There was no other way that I could really share this, so I wanted to put everything in one place, and that's what this playlist is for on my YouTube. All right, so I'm going to start with, this is a flyer that I created at work while I was on the clock, so I was getting paid to do this, as most of my research was, but it was really slow, so that's fine. So this is the flyer that I created. So essentially, after my first episode, once I realized that our store, Suite 667, the Dolce & Gabbana on the 6th floor, was haunted, I wanted to investigate the rest of the mall. So I created this flyer as a way to literally go store to store and ask everyone their experiences. I literally went to every single business in the entire store, or the entire mall, from the ground floor, the businesses outside, to all the way up to the 8th floor, parking garage, security guards, everyone. So this is the flyer that I created to really hype it up, and I'm gonna read it for you. I made a bunch of copies because I still had some left over. Have you or any of your coworkers had any supernatural or other experiences here at the Beverly Center? I want to hear from you. After 8 to 9 months of working in a temp space on the 6th floor and experiencing so much paranormal activity, I put together a podcast episode with my coworkers on the events we've experienced. Now I'm looking to create a follow-up episode with stories from other people working in the mall, and I would love to hear your personal experiences. And then I have my socials here, and then this is the podcast that they can listen to. Like I said, this is after I came out with my first episode on our specific store, and since then I've done 5 other episodes, and I've included a lot of feedback that I've got from this newsletter, people that have reached out, different stories that I've heard, I've included. So this really came in handy. And I also had my coworker help me translate it into Spanish. So literally everyone in the Beverly Center, whether you spoke English, Spanish, whatever, you were understanding what my mission was here. All right. So I have a lot of copies. So one day when I go back to do potentially part 7, I'm going to find more stories. And then moving on to the ghost map. So my coworker, shout out to Bianca for helping me. She found a map of the mall, and I used this as a guide to highlight what stores were haunted and which stores weren't, based off of just what people told me. So this was just kind of like a soft guide to go off of. It's not saying it's haunted or it's not. It's just what the feedback that I've gotten was, because I think a lot of it can kind of be who you talk to, whether they're open to it or not. So the yellow are all of the spaces that aren't haunted or haven't had any reported activity. And then the green spaces are where I have stories or accounts from. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. I also wrote in if it changed. A lot of times there's a high turnover at the Beverly Center. Businesses will move in and out, they change, move location. So I tried to do my best to update it. I also like this because it kind of like is a timestamp looking back. If I do this again one day, I can like look to see which spaces were haunted at this period. So this is level 1. I really didn't have much luck with level 1. No one really had any experiences here. This is level 1, part 2. I will note, I know I have the Webster coded in green. I think that was a mistake. I don't remember anything from the Webster. I knew a couple people that worked there and they didn't really have any experiences. Like I said, it's not 100%. This is just based off of who I've talked to. So this is level 6. You could see a fair amount have a lot going on there. This is the Suite 667, which was the original one that I worked in, where I first discovered the paranormal activity, where it happened to me and my coworkers in this space. There was so much there before. It was literally Restoration Hardware, COS, Kitson, Louis Vuitton temporary space, the Dolce & Gabbana temporary space, and now it's a Mango. So yeah, I've talked to them recently, and Mango didn't really say that they've had anything happening, so I'm curious if the energy kind of diffused, or maybe it just isn't really communicating with those people specifically. But looking at this, these are all of the other locations where there's been activity. This is the 7th floor, which I'm surprised there's this much green, because if you asked me, I'd say the 8th and the 6th are the most haunted, but there's a lot of people here who have had experiences as well. I will note that the Bloomingdale's wing on both of these, this is the 6th and this is the 7th, the Bloomingdale's wing is where the shadow figure has been spotted. A lot of the stores in this area have reported seeing a shadow figure. They didn't know that I talked to the other stores, and they all had similar stories, which is really interesting. And then finally the 8th floor, which right now it's looking sad because H&M is the only thing that's there. There's a Titanic exhibit that's supposed to be opening up where Uniqlo was. I want to go, but it's also virtual reality, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I think I might go just to like check out the space. Fair City closed, Forever 21, which we all know is so haunted and has had its fair share of tragedy, has closed about a month ago. And then this is the hallway here. I highlighted this. It's the back hallway behind the old abandoned cafe. Once you get to the back of the hallway, if you turn right, that area right here that I've highlighted just gives me the chills. Like, it's so undescribable, just like a heavy, uncomfortable feeling. Like, even thinking about it freaks me out. So any of you guys watching, that area I think is like the scariest in the entire mall. And then that connects to this area, which used to be the old food court, which they'll have like pop-up events during holidays. They have like a Christmas themed burlesque show, and they have other pop-up events, so I feel like that is always changing as well. So yeah, that's my ghost map. I just wanted you guys to see because I referenced it a bunch throughout my episodes. So this is what I was using to look back at and kind of record the stories, see consistencies within certain areas of the mall, and all of that. And then only other thing I had was my note card. These are people that had shared a little bit of stories, or it was like word of mouth that I didn't really get to include on my podcast, whether they like didn't reach back out or I kind of lost touch with them. So I hope one day I can find more people and share more stories, although I hope the energy, for the sake of everyone, the living and the dead, I hope it, finds peace. But until then, maybe we'll have some more stories for part 7. So if you guys are watching this, if you've had any personal experiences or know anyone that has, please reach out. In my mind, this is forever ongoing, so I'd love to hear about your experiences, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, I'm going to upload all of the content that I have, there's a couple surveillance videos of things happening that I'm going to put on my YouTube and put under this playlist, so make sure that you check out all of the videos, including the 6 parts, and they're all in order: 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. The first one is on Suite 667. The second and the third are on Forever 21 when I have our in-house psychic medium, Erica Altmiller. She walks through with me, and she makes an appearance in the 4th and the 6th episode as well. The 4th episode is on the 8th floor. The 5th episode is on the 7th floor. And the 6th episode is on the 6th floor. So thank you guys. It means a lot. And anything else I'll upload to this playlist on YouTube. Thank you. Bye.